Okay, so right now, according to the specs of the machine, the maximum width of the belt that can cut product is a maximum of 5 3/4 wide. Over here, I've set up the line so that you can see that you can run two different lines at the same time. And right now, the maximum, not the height that is currently set, is 20 millimeters. You can also have a 25 millimeter guide, which will support your product while it's running on the belt. The product, when placed on the belt, always add an additional 5 millimeters. So the product should not be greater than the guide, more than 5 millimeters, because it will require the top belt to press down the meat so that you can get the even cuts. Over here, you can run a multi-lane. It's set up right now with the 20 millimeters, and it has a total of 4 blades. And so that's 1 2 3 4, and you will get 5 cuts. Of course, you can also adjust the blades here as you would like within the 5 millimeter metal guide. So it's set up with a 5 millimeter metal guide. We have a 3, 4, and a 5 millimeter metal guides, and the blades are not maximized based on the comb here. It is limited to the amount of the height of the guide here, the comb guide. So each blade needs to be inserted and protected like this. Okay, so because you see all these additional slots does not mean that you can put product all the way up top. That is something that we're working on for the future, in order to be able to put higher product in the future. But for now, the maximum is 20 millimeter and 25 millimeter, and the blades need to work within the comb of the height of 20 or 25. Okay, so that's the multi-cut that you will do. And also you have your butterfly knife, and this butterfly knife, it's also adjustable by this knob here. Bringing it down here, you've loosened it, and over here you adjust the height. Once you adjust the height, again keeping in mind that the blade should not go higher than the guide bar. You tighten it by doing that there, and you can also loosen these screws here in order to move the belt back and forth. Right now this blade is set up so that it can cut a chicken breast into 2 when it's all the way to the very end here. All right, and as well you can cut breasts into 2 the multi-cut. Depends on what you want to do. You can, when you want more than 2, you would use the multi-cut, and if you want just 2 halves, you can use the butterfly knife. And of course, the butterfly knife doing the butterfly and 2 halves. All right, so you adjust it that way. Again, the maximum width is 5 3/4. The height is limited to the guide bars right now for this machine, 20 millimeters and 25 millimeters. Add an additional 5 millimeters of your product that will go just slightly above the guide bar so that the belts up here can press it down to get your even cuts. All right, this is how the machine looks. Now this is a safety over here, a safety switch that will hold this whole mechanism here up. You can release it by just slightly pressing up and releasing that knob. One person can do that, and by releasing that safety, it'll still hold in place because you've pumped the hydraulics. And in order to increase or bring it up, you would pump this up, closing the valve so that you pump the hydraulic, and it'll bring this up safely with no stress. And once it's up to the position that you want, you just lock it over there. Okay, and that's basically it. If you have any further questions on how to change that, so changing the belt, it's a matter of doing that, releasing the lock mechanism, and just pulling out the blade. Once you pull out the blade, you can replace your heads over here, and you can run the 2 lanes with multi, or the 2 lanes with butterfly, or 1 multi, 1 butterfly. Okay, this is what the knives look like, which I disassembled. Okay, and then you can just put them on. It's very quick to put this back on. That'll be at a later video if required, but any mechanically inclined person, even you don't need any mechanical experience, you'd be able to set this up. Okay, again, putting the blade back on. As you can see, I'm doing it with one hand. Right there. Adjust. Lock it. That's it. Hope that helps. Any questions? Let us know.